Afrobeats Intelligence Podcast.
Afrobeats Intelligence, democratizing African music.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. I'm happy to do it, man. I'm happy to be in Lagos City, man. It has been an amazing trip. I feel like the people have welcomed me with open arms. They've welcomed my company, and the team who I brought out here, and we're just looking forward to many years of working here, doing great work and contributing to what you guys are building.
More than ever with United Masters, more than ever in this market, let me just go straight into it.
Yeah.
More than ever in this market, what we have seen in the last 7 years since we started this thing called Afrobeats to the world, that's we live in our shores and go into other spots, the culture.
Yeah. We've
seen everybody coming here, and the way they've typically operated has been very extractive. So all of our artists are signed, a huge share of the market is gone, majors and distributors. But we've not seen development in this industry from the ground up.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. I will tell you that the first thing we did, even before we made the announcement that we were coming to Africa.
Yeah.
A year ago we did a deal with SARS, SARS Academy, and the reason why we did that is because he actually is developing talent. He is investing in developing the next generation of great singers and songwriters and producers. So before we did anything, that's the first thing we did, because we do believe in that, the idea of developing artists and developing talent. Secondly, to your point, you come into a market and, the first thing you're trying to do is buy the masters from the artists, give them money and take their rights.
Yeah.
This is what record companies do. That's exploitive. I think those days need to end. And then the other thing that they do is you have these songs that are already big, and then the record company comes in and then puts artists like Selena Gomez on the record. It doesn't need Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez needs the record.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez is not an Afrobeats artist, obviously. She's trying to jump on Afrobeats so that she can get hot.
Yeah.
They need you. And I just need people here to understand that we need to be more of who we are. The culture has spoken.
Yeah.
The culture has been chosen. The sound has been chosen. The world wants it.
Yeah.
We need to be more of who we are, not let them exploit us and we start becoming who they are.
How long have you had this dream for Nigeria?
I had a dream for Nigeria 15 years ago, honestly. Maybe longer, like 20 years ago. I purchased a beauty brand called Carol's Daughter many years ago. And I was trying to bring it here. It was a black African-American owner beauty brand.
Yeah.
And what happened was the cost to ship it here would have made the price of the product way too.
No way.
Yeah. So you'd have to manufacture it here. And figuring out the manufacturing logistics 20 years ago was very difficult for me. But that was always my dream, to bring business here.
What was the problem then?
So we were manufacturing it in America. And if I had to ship the product here, the cost to ship it and get it so that it was affordable, it would have been too high.
Why didn't you think of manufacturing here?
Me back then, as a young entrepreneur 20 years ago, I didn't have the network to figure out the manufacturing here. I regret that. I should have done that. I mean, I regret it. I should have done it. But the fact of the matter is, 20 years later, I'm here with, a product that's, right on time.
Yeah.
So my dream of being in business in Nigeria goes back to the beauty business 20 years ago.
Beautiful. And something else I've noticed about you and your arrival here.
Yeah.
Since you dropped by here, everyone's been on their toes. So everyone, and this is how I'd put it. In the industry, I'm very well connected in the space. So in the industry, everyone's like, "Oh God, United Masters, they're coming, they're announcing." Meanwhile, the people who weren't connected to them, they're like, Steve's here. And you could see the light just go up in their eyes. Steve's here. Have you felt that?
Yeah, I know that.
Oh.
I know that. I know that. Because, look, much respect to the people who've been here.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about there's a lot of respect for the guys who are here.
Yeah.
You know, like Don Jazzy and what he's built. There's a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not talking about that. But the people who came from America, the record companies, the distributors who came from America and they came here, they come in, set up their little companies, and then they leave. They know I'm not doing that. And they know I have something to say.
Yeah.
And some of them who came in here are not even black. People ain't want to do business with black people.
Yeah.
Okay? So, of course they're concerned. They're concerned because they're not black, and they're probably concerned because they know they're not committed. They're in it for the short term. We're here, we're deep.
Yeah.
I'm not running. I love it here.
Yeah.
I have friends here. I have relationships that are deep here and connections that I have had for many, many years. So they should be concerned.
And with United Masters, what's the one thing you're looking to achieve here in terms of the culture? You're bringing a solution that has both culture and the tech to support it.
Yeah. What am I looking for to achieve? I think my contribution first is to educate artists on the business itself.
Yeah.
If I can get the next generation of artists here to say, I am never selling my masters.
Yeah.
I am always going to own what I create.
Yep.
That's a contribution that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, that the people here who've had a history of things being taken from them have created something called Afrobeats, a sound, a global sound, that if I can be a part of helping teach them and providing a service that they can retain and own what they create, and that kids can benefit from it for generations to come, then I've done my job. That's the first thing.
And, okay, finish please.
Yeah. From a business standpoint,
Yeah.
to give everybody access through technology for an opportunity to get a shot to live out their dreams or have the success and do what they actually want to do, which is create music and develop a career. To be able to create a software and provide tools that do that, and partner with brands so that the artists can get more opportunities. You've seen that we partnered with the NBA. We have an NBA announcement that just came out.
Yeah.
So now you have artists, independent artists, whose songs is going to be, synced to NBA footage, right? So you have this artist who made a song in his house, and then 2 weeks later, his song is behind a LeBron James TikTok or LeBron James ad on social media where they have 1.2 billion in reach. That's awesome, man. That's opportunity. Working with Coke Studios, working with Diageo, just to start. Brands who've come in and said, you know what? We believe in what United Masters is doing, and we want to partner with you in the market. And that's why, and that partnership is going to provide opportunities to artists, local artists.
And these partnerships that you have sealed, there's Coke Studio, that one leans heavily into the branding. There's Diageo, of course, partners, NBA partners. Was there something specific why you chose these people? Is it because they've got something to offer to the artist?
No.
Or how do you approach?
No, you know what it is?
Okay.
You first want to see who's in it with you.
Okay.
Right? Like, look, we're going to Nigeria and we're doing it, and this is our purpose and this is our mission. Who's in it? NBA raises their hands. We love that.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay? I mean, they had Afrobeats at the All-Star game 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right? At halftime. We're all in. They're all in on NBA Africa. They're all in on basketball in Africa. Okay, great. Call Coca-Cola. We've been in Africa for many years. We manufacture in Africa. Africa is a very important business marketplace for us. What's happening in Nigeria is amazing. We want to be a part of what you're doing. We want to support you. Same thing. You know, and the same thing with Diageo. Like the part that when you develop a reputation and have a reputation like, you know, I have, and therefore my business has, when you say, look, this is what we're doing and this is what's going to get done.
Yeah.
Do you want to go along for this ride? And the first people to raise their hands are the people you end up working with. What we provide and the services we provide and the opportunities we provide will morph over time.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to do. As the market changes, we're supposed to adjust.
True.
Right? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you every single, you know, detail specifically of what is going to happen. All I can tell you, most importantly, is that commitment is going to happen.
Yeah. And when you think of this market, the Nigerian market, first, okay, let me talk about how it relates to your end, and you know, before I flip it over here, when you think of Afrobeats as a growing genre, you know, it's done the work here, it's doing the work out there. You're taking a huge bet on a culture that, even though it has stayed for a while, it's still a baby in the global framework in terms of the access it has had and all that. We're barely 7 years working globally with this new age.
Yeah, yeah.
So why are you taking that? Why are you betting on us?
It's not the bet isn't on Afrobeats per se.
Okay.
The bet is on one of the fastest growing countries in the world.
Because it's a Nigeria bet.
Yeah. You're betting on the fastest, well, it's an Africa bet.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think that all the Chinese and the Indians are doing here? Why does it have to be them? Okay, so let's just put that to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not have to be them. Secondly, the bet is on the youth market. The most vibrant youth market in all of the world is here.
Yep.
Okay? So when you put together the population, the growth of the youth market, and the fact that culture is emanating out of Africa, well, it always has.
Yes.
Okay?
Of course.
It's the OG.
Mm-hmm.
So
the motherland.
yeah, it's the motherland. So the fact that it's now, let me just reframe that popular culture is emanating out of Africa.
Yeah.
Is this 18-year-old young kids, young adults rather, in America now, in December, you'd ask them 10 years ago where you want to go. Mm-hmm. They'd be, oh, we're going to go to Cabo or Tulum. Or, where are you going? I want to go to Nigeria. I want to go to Lagos. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. But my generation, whether it was the way what was put in our head or truly the way the airlines were routing it, it just seemed so far.
Yeah.
It just seemed so far.
So
I don't know why.
So cut off from the rest.
It just felt far. And I think it's a combination of social media and obviously the art, beautiful art coming out of Ghana,
yeah.
artist.
True.
The music itself.
Yeah.
The combination of those things have just served well to put in perspective the power of Africa, and specifically the connection, the cultural connection we have as Black Americans to Nigeria. It just feels, I feel like I'm in New York City. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, well, you're currently in the New York part of the city.
Yeah.
Of the city.
Yeah.
There are parts that aren't.
I went to a couple of those parts too.
Where'd you go?
I feel like I'm in New York City because even in New York City, as a New Yorker, I'll say New York City, but I am talking about Queens.
Yeah.
I am talking about Brooklyn. I am talking about, So when I even say, like, I feel like I'm in New York City, I understand there's different changes in landscape and, attitudes and personas as you move out.
True.
But it's like New York City, right? It's busy. There's entrepreneurs. There's hustlers. Everything's open till late. Man, I got in at 6 o'clock every day.
Okay.
And I love people there.
Yeah. And I like what you're doing with SARS. I like that
He's awesome.
Yes, he is.
What a great guy.
Yes. A great guy.
What a great guy.
And a great creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing where the market is at right now, the market has minimal infrastructure. The market also has, I've been here for 10 years. The market also has the lack of a reliable pipeline that stretches all around the corners of Nigeria. Everything is Lagos-centric. Stretches all around the corners of Nigeria, seeking out these people with talent. I'm happy you have artist development as at the fore of what you're bringing in here. Mm-hmm. But beyond, do you ever think you would stretch that beyond Lagos?
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the beauty of the application.
Okay.
Having an application, I call it a record company in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because we developed software that took 7 years to develop.
7?
7, man. 7 years of, modifying and making sure you get the payments right and
across regions.
And adding services like education, and that kind of stuff, and the data and analytics that could be beneficial to the artist. And it's user-friendly so that anybody could read it, understand it, and act on it. It took time.
Yeah.
But now, people outside of Lagos, if you have a phone, which this is one of the most dominant mobile countries in the world.
True.
Okay. You can upload your song in your phone directly to United Masses through the application. Right? If you download the United Masses app on Apple Store or Google Play Store, what have you, upload your song and you're ready to go. Your song is up on 120 different DSPs, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, and all the others, Deezer, whatever it is. And that's going to give everybody an opportunity to be able to submit music and be able to get in the game. If it's Lagos-centric, if record companies are only based in Lagos and you have to meet somebody at a record company, then when you're on the outskirts, it's very hard for you to have the same opportunity as somebody.
The access.
Right here.
No
access is the
access.
problem.
Yeah. Well done for that.
Yeah, well, hey, man, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to impress you.
And so I have a friend who's also an artist, and he was there at the press conference we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who said he's been using United Masters.
Yeah.
Even before United Masters.
He was using a VPN. Yeah, I remember.
He was. How did that make you feel?
You ask good questions. It made me feel, look, I'd heard that people were using United Masters with a VPN. So it wasn't surprising to me. It confirmed what I knew I had to do. I had to come here.
Okay.
It was more like anything else. I mean, you open up something and, the information you get back is from things like that. Like you start to see people logging in from Africa, and you're like, we need to be in Africa. They shouldn't have to, go through a VPN. It should be able to be in market, localized. And, that's kind of the insights you get from being just like reading the data and paying attention to what's going on.
And the infrastructure part. So all the conversation, back-end conversation about Nigeria and, developing at home has been the lack of infrastructure. We don't have venues. That's evident. We don't have venues. We we're still sorting out a lot of the copyright. We have a regime. They just signed a new act, but we're still sorting a lot of that. Would you guys, do you foresee yourself being involved in infrastructure building, not just the talent pipeline?
Yeah, I understand. I'm learning that part. I had another conference yesterday, in which I started to really understand the issues with venues.
Okay. Because live is important.
Yeah, live is very important. I mean, and you have such big stars, they need to be performing. They can't even find the right venue to perform here. And not only the performance venue, but the mics and the LED screens and everything to put a world-class performance on. So you have, you WizKid and David O and everyone, these artists who've they perform in all these places around the world, and there's a certain level of expectation so they can present themselves in the best possible way. And it's a shame that they can't have that same level of perfection at home. While we're here, we're looking at talent. Okay. Yeah.
Both artists and professionals.
Mostly, yeah, but I would say focusing on professionals now. We launched the app, we get that going. Now we're looking for the right executive team here in the market who has credibility, who are artist friendly, and who care.
Why is it important that they care?
Because you're not going to do anything with commitment. You need to wake up. For you to wake up every day and think about something, you have to care about it. You wake up every day. In order to be successful at what you're doing, you got to wake up every morning. And that's like the thing on your mind. It's like, how am I going to do better? How am I going to move this forward? And that comes from care. So I want somebody that cares, a team of people that care, because that's the differentiating factor. I mean, it's not the idea. Everyone has the idea.
True.
Very few people have the idea and care.
And that just pushes it over the line.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And in this market, the market you've come into, the history of the market, this is new for us. It's still new for us. We're still finding our feet. We're still trying to sort out a lot of things. But at the same time, Afrobeats is doing its global thing. This year alone, I like to think we have plateaued on a certain level because we stopped having our firsts anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be first person to feel this, first person to do the first African artist. But this year there were very few firsts.
I hate that. I hate the first thing.
Why do you hate it?
Because everybody wants to be the first, and you start making up shit. Like the first person to do it who's left-handed. It's like you start making up things to be first. Look, man, keep moving forward.
Yeah.
If you keep moving forward, you may be first.
Okay.
But your job is to be first, open the door, leave it open so somebody else can come in.
True.
Right? I said that. I hope when we get to the Grammys this year, and Afrobeats gets its just due, that the artists go on stage as one and talk about Nigeria and talk about Africa, and use that stage to help everybody. There's obviously a light that's going to be shined on them, for them to take that light and shine it back on their home, on their country.
What are the parallels you see? Because you've built in a more developed economy and music market, and now you're coming to the front lines. What parallels are you drawing so far?
The parallels that I'm drawing are not necessarily what I see today.
Okay.
It's what I seen coming up in hip hop in the mid '80s.
Okay.
It was the same kind of, people were sampling and not getting it cleared, but no one cared. And it was the Wild Wild West of, copyright laws and stealing somebody's rap without getting permission. And what did that mean? And the underground of the way music was being distributed and shared. And back then it was VHS tapes.
Sure.
Just shipped all around. And then over time, when the business started to make money, lawyers got involved, structure got involved, business people got involved, professionalism got involved.
Yeah.
And those things help shape it as a genre of music and an industry with a solid foundation. So I'm looking at where Afrobeats is today, or where the market is here today, to where the market was, in hip hop, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And given technology and just the ability to collapse time, because now we understand what we learned from what we've seen before.
Yeah.
A person like me can come in and help accelerate you take my learnings and accelerate the marketplace learning curve here. So we will quickly eradicate some of that stuff that are wobbly and not necessarily as stable as it should.
And with education, that's a huge part of what you're
Major
about.
part, yeah.
Major part of everything. Any Africa-focused initiatives in that department so far?
I mean,
because we need a lot of that.
No. That is critical. I can't, so far, part of education is leading by example.
Okay.
So there's part of it that's, when I'm sitting there talking on live television about what it means to own your masses.
Yeah.
And there's a very famous artist here who passed away.
Mobad.
Yeah.
Bless his soul.
Bless his soul. And the fact that his works have been celebrated, and yet the money is going to a record company, not his family, it's a shame.
Yes, it is.
Shining a light on that as to why artists should, own their works, because that could be them. That's education within itself.
Okay.
And then supplying the solution for that is critical. So there's that kind of education, just by taking what we stand for, what we believe in, and leading by example. And then there's education, like, a formalized education,
Yeah.
a formal structured education in which we're teaching you the business.
Sure.
And we have a program within the app called Blueprint
Yeah.
that has education. And then we're going to bring a conference here
Yeah.
that I will not delve into any further, but we're going to bring a conference here that is going to be all about that education. So it's what we do, man. It's commitment. It's all the commitment stuff that, it's, I don't want to make a big deal out of it because, you say something and you do it and you're committed to it. And these are all the things that come, as part of the commitment.
Okay. Thank you. And just before we go, you're here, you're blowing hot, the market's shaking.
You're kind.
Wait,
You're gassing me up.
I'm not.
I got it.
This is what I've experienced. I'm telling you my experience. Because everyone's like, Steve Stoute. I'm like, okay, cool, great guy. Well, why are you shaking? And so, when you look back at this time, I know hindsight will give you 2020 vision, but when you look back at this time, what would, judging by your intentions so far and how much you're empowering people, empowering the industry, collapsing time and accelerating growth and development, what would success be to you on a macro level? What would success be to you and your efforts here?
Success for me, there's a certain amount of success that is going to have commercial implications.
Yeah.
You want to be the number one distributor in the market, or you want to be, have the number one artist or the most artists or that kind of thing, right? So there's a commercial part of it.
Yeah.
And I would say that just has to happen because, we have a business.
True.
But more importantly than that, success to me would be that I came here and did everything that I said.
Okay.
and that people know that I wasn't another person who came here just trying to extract and go back and enjoy the exploits of Africa.
Sure.
That's the corny shit that I don't want to be associated with. The fact that we can come, bring something, invest in, partner with, and leave a mark that we contributed versus taken. That is most important to me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing this, brother.
Thank you, bro.